Metal Up World, this is CJ with CJOrtiz.com and MetalMotivation.com. This is the first of a new 5-message series on dealing with nagging problems. Now, this is all shown in my Life Domination online coaching program, and you can learn more about that if you visit the link below. Dealing with nagging problems. Well, what do I mean by nagging problems? Anything in your life that you've been dealing with for upwards of 6 months to a year or several years, I would consider to be a nagging problem. Things that just have not been dealt with, that still hold you back, that still frustrate you, that still war against your progress, that still give you this sense of hopelessness and the idea that you're never going to be able to get the upper hand in life. That's what nagging problems do, because nagging problems will speak to you just the same as good things, things that you achieve, will also speak to you. You see, everything has a voice. Voices are not just what comes out of our mouth, nor just the inner voice. Our circumstances, everything that we face, people, anything that we contend with has a voice. Not verbalizing, but the issue is that you never encounter an experience or fact or situation in life in which you do not also give to it meaning. And when you give meaning to it, you do that in words. So in that sense, everything speaks. So if you have a nagging problem, for example, and you encounter that today, your mind says, I always have to deal with this. I'm always going to be contending with this. I'm a loser, whatever it may be. People hate me. I just can't get by in life. The universe is against me. Circumstances have their own voice, and you are the one who gives articulation to that voice. This is why nagging problems are going to have to be dealt with. Practically, they need to be dealt with so you don't have to contend with them anymore. But also psychologically, they need to be dealt with. Again, since everything has a voice, we'd rather see the things that speak to you be your achievements, be the results that you make. See, for example, in my business life, there are things that I am disappointed in. There are certain things that I just can't seem to break through, just can't seem to get to that next level. If I'm not careful, I can continue to look at each setback as an indication that I'm not supposed to go that way. Maybe as an indication that I'm supposed to quit, give up, throw in the towel. And believe me, those things, I give voice to those things just as much as anybody else does. But I have to overcome it. I have to impose a new voice on those things so that I can keep heading in the direction that I should be heading in. But more specifically, the nagging problems that you are dealing with, the things that you constantly come up against, and the voice and what they say to you, you have to stop that vicious cycle so that you can get beyond this and begin to hear a new sound, a new voice, a new message, one that keeps telling you you're on the right path, one that keeps telling you you're going to win. Dealing with nagging problems. Well, one thing I can definitely say, and this is really going to be the foundation of what I do throughout this 5-message series, and that is this. You have to ask yourself this question: what am I lacking? What am I lacking? In anything that you deal with where there is a nagging problem, there is something that is lacking. It might be a resource. It might be money. It might be a certain principle or piece of knowledge that you don't know or that's not being applied. It might be that things are out of order. It might be that the wrong people are involved. It might be that, again, you just don't have the knowledge, the blueprint, if you will, to apply to that situation. You think you do, but you don't, because you still deal with the nagging problem. Nagging problems always represent that there is something still lacking. That's what I want to talk about this week, is what is it that's lacking right now in your life that could get you past this, that could give you the upper hand and help you to overcome the nagging problems that you're facing. And we're going to follow a particular path in this little message series about once we identify what's lacking, we're going to set in place a someone to oversee, not a real person though, you're going to see how this works, set someone to oversee the progress and the dealing with and the deciphering and the uncovering of what the cause is to your nagging problem. And then we're going to look at the pattern that you need to follow. Once you get that information in place, the pattern that you need to follow to resolve that issue, and how you're going to keep yourself in the game, stick to it in order to bring the desired results and eliminate these issues that you've been dealing with, I don't care how long in your life, dealing with nagging problems. What is it you are lacking? Because whatever it is that you're lacking, that's exactly where we want to focus our cannons. That is exactly where we want to place our firepower. And what's difficult for us is that we don't focus on these things. Once we identify them, we need to focus on them. It may take resources and time from other things, but you got to do it, man. It's like a band going into the studio to make an album. When they get to the final process, not the writing process, but the final process where they're recording, the last stages, man, it's all out. They're there 12, 13, 14 hours a day. Or an author who's writing their novel or whatever, when it gets down to the last part of that, they've got to separate themselves from family or whoever so that they can devote themselves to the most arduous process here. But if they don't do it, the novel never gets published, the record never gets done. Same thing with you. Once you identify what these nagging problems are, you're going to have to devote the time, the energy, and the resources. But then look at what happens when you get on the other side of that, man. Imagine your life without those nagging problems. Can you dig it? I hope you can. So if you'd like to see the rest of these videos, as well as have access to my archive of well over 500 videos, then I encourage you to join my private Facebook group, the Life Domination Online Coaching Program. It's easy to do, very inexpensive. I moderate the group. Like I said, it's private. The only other people in there, people like you and people like me that are motivated, that are doing the best that they can to build the best life that they can. And I'd love to have you be a part of it. You can sign up at any time. You can cancel at any time. There is no contracts, nothing like that. It's a minimal fee. Very inexpensive. You'll get a hell of a lot more out of it than you'll invest in monetarily. More than anything, man, it'll give you a path and a track to run on. So sign up today, metalmotivation.com/life domination coaching. This is CJ, the Metal Motivator. And remember, in whatever you do, don't suck. Metal up.